Salutations, boys and girls, and kiddos of all ages, and to all subscribers, returning viewers, and new viewers of the channel. I would like to say, welcome to Posing Action Figures with Toy the Poser, for I am your host, Toy the Poser. And of course, for those who don't know, I would like to say that this is not your average toy review channel. Just a simple little showcasing of all the things I like to collect and showcase in the form of action figure and toys. I said showcase twice. But I also want to say for today that no, not in no way, shape, form, or fashion that this is a political channel or am I trying to start a political debate. But because of the action figure that we're going to showcase today, which you probably already know who it is because you saw the thumbnail, but it does make me want to ask the question of how and why was this action figure decided to be made, because of wondering, well, basically, I'm just wondering, did it have anything or was it inspired by a little incident that happened a few years ago? Here, I'll show you what I mean. Whoop. Okay, so back in late 2024, a CEO of a healthcare company was, well, let's just say, let's see, how can I say this and keep this kid friendly? How about he was expelled from the game of life by this man? Now, according to the resources and things that I heard online, Mr. Luigi here took the life of Mr. Bryant because he worked for a healthcare company that basically made it, well, I guess, just made life or made getting healthcare and medication difficult for common people. Now, I'm paraphrasing, of course, but if you're familiar with the story, it's tragic no matter which side of the fence that you lean on and who you feel what was right or what was wrong. And or if you felt that Mr. Bryant Thompson here deserved to have his life taken or deleted from the game of life. This video isn't about them two because, I just find it a bit odd that Hasbro and the Marvel Legends team decide to give us this character in action figure form right after that situation. And behind the camera, I go into giant mode to show you what I mean. Whoop, whoop. And now that I don't wasted 3 minutes of your time with that intro, this is, of course, the Marvel Legends Spider-Man line, Cardiac. All right. Or what? Did I say cardiac? Cardac. Okay. Okay. Is it cardiac or Cardac? It's cardiac. Yes, like cardiac arrest. Anywho, okay. And yes, for those who like packages and things of that nature, here you go. Okay. And all right, that little brief little intro that I'm going to tell you more about anyway. So yes, this character has a very similar situation with the story that I just told you about. And so let's get him out and magical poof him out of this. And let's get the show on the road. Let me tell you what I mean. Magical poof. Oh, good gracious. All right. So yeah, as we get Cardiac out of there, you can, let me adjust myself. I'm sorry. You can see that he is standing up. He's standing up straight out of the package, so that's good. He has a weapon, and I think it's called a beta stick or whatever, but anyway, I guess we'll talk about that later. But this is a weapon. He comes with alternate hands that I'm gonna have to change out because he has a weapon and an energy effect that you can either put on the weapon, and I think I've seen it before that they say you can also put on. It fits around his hand. I'll try that in a second, but let's try to see what do they mean when you can put it on the weapon. I'm gonna assume, and I think people have been griping about why do they only give us one of these energy effects, and to be honest with you, lollipop. All right. Yeah, I'm sorry. But yeah, I guess I'll explain all that and it affect, what it is and what he does and stuff like that in a minute. I mean, I am glad we have cardiac. And the reason I said, gave you all that little speech in the beginning is because, yes, cardiac's story is very similar in nature, I guess, with the story, of the people I just told you about. Okay. Luigi and Mr. Brian Thompson. But yeah, and only reason I was saying that is because, I thought it was, I don't know if it was just a weird coincidence or it was just, a coincidence altogether that, that we get this character that's very, has a very similar, origin story to, the Luigi, Mr. Luigi Manzilli. I'm sorry, you guys seen this last name? I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, it has a very similar origin story to that, and I just found it quite weird. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I have no idea how or why, go or what takes place in the heads of the people that makes toys and how they go about how those decisions are made, basically is what I'm saying. So I don't want to start a what do you call it, conspiracy theory that's that was the reason why that we have cardiac, and I am gonna by the way, I'm trying to put his little hand up. I mean, the little energy effect around his hand, just basically to show you what it looked like, because right now I doubt very seriously I'm not gonna even pose him like that. Speaking of posing, remember to warm up your action figures when you take them out the package before you start to do this. Yes, so be better than me. Don't be like me. And warm up your action figures before you pose them. Okay? And there you go. That's his energy effect. Now, speaking of this, since we got it like this would have been a lot better if it was a lot more translucent or clear with some effects on it and stuff like that. So, because I believe it's supposed to represent some kind of like electrical pulse or shock wave or anything like that. So basically, yeah, he just looked like he done right now got his hands frozen a big ball of ice, or something, but doesn't look like energy effect, as well. Okay, so, and with no app, well, you gotta bathroom. So like this, and no ab crunch, and that sucks. And they didn't, which I don't really mind, long as I don't mind where they put the cut at. Tell you the truth, as long as the range of motion of the leg is still good, in which it is. So yeah, I love it when they can do full splits or whatever. But yeah, the boot swivel or thigh cut is right there in the middle of the thigh, right there where the waistbands are. And no, they're not removable. None of these things are. His shoulder pads or anything like that aren't removable, unless you take out the I guess the arms or whatever. But I mean, they are molded separately, but they're not really removable. So no butterfly joints, which that's really what I hate. When they do that, no butterfly joints on a weapon holding character, and which is that's just ridiculous if you ask me. I mean, I'm not trying to rant. It's not time to pay the rent yet, but I'm just saying, guys. Oh, okay, maybe it's a little rant, but yeah, why all characters, unless it's something that they're wearing that's not allowing them to have butterfly joints or something like that, but you can put butterfly joints on characters now, so why won't you do it? And ab crunches and waist swivels and things like that. So why won't you do it? And the reason I'm all right, so let's put them. Oh, let's go ahead and put this effect on. And I explained this little effect thing again too. So, and why we only have two, cause I get it. I understand. Some people like symmetry when it comes to things like this, and I get it. But they only gave us one. So, and I'm having a hard time putting it on over the camera. So we're gonna just use magic to finish it off. Okay, so how about a little magic? Put him on a rotator with him in a cold pose. So okay, with his lollipop boomstick in hand, we have cardiac. Okay, and yeah, it's one of those situations where you're like, it wasn't like he was extremely difficult to pose or anything like that, but certain poses that I think would be cool for him to be in, since he has like technically a bow staff in hand. It was hard to replicate or do due to the fact that he doesn't have an ab crunch or a waist swivel, what you want to call it. And of course, I don't have a good action figure stand to really put him in a really cool jumping position. So, but regardless of that, all right, who is this guy and where did he come from and when did he start coming from wherever he came from? Okay, so, but before I get started, first I want to say that, yeah, like I was saying before, people was complaining about his little weapon stick and why he only has one energy effect on it. Well, the thing is, let me see if I can show you what I mean. The thing is that every time I've seen, well, the majority of the times I've seen Karnak in the poses, is he only had the energy blast only came from one side. Not to say that he can't use them on both sides of the stick. Because I'm pretty sure I have seen pictures of him using the energy blasts on both sides of the stick, or they're both glowing, or even when he's charging up his hands. Normally they only show him do it with one hand. As I said before, I rarely ever see him do it with two hands. So, I mean, now you know why he maybe that's the reason why they only gave him one energy effect on one end. But created in 1990 by Eric Larson and David McElwain, and first appearing in issue number 342 of Amazing Spider-Man as his original name, but when he turned into Cardiac, that happened in the next issue of The Amazing Spider-Man of 343. But he first was Eli Withram, all right? And when Elias was a young lad, his brother Jacob succumbed to his illnesses and passed away because there wasn't a cure for his illness, anything like that. So while he was growing up, he decided to go into the field of medicine, and basically because he wanted to make a change in the world, basically saying that he wanted to find the cures for people like his brother and make them affordable so people like his family could afford those cures and those medicines. And during his college tenure, he would befriend people like Dr. Kevin Trench, who, if you don't know, is the supervillain Night Eater, later Night Watch, and the medical pharmaceutical named Gerald Stone, who obviously later teamed up with a guy named Jacob Iacorn, and they became the crime-fighting team called Sticks and Stone. And although I couldn't find a recent picture of Mr. Sticks here, really doesn't matter because he came later anyway. But Gerald Stone, before he turned into technically a rock monster, he was a human, okay, or a human-looking guy, I should say. Anywho, and of course some little industrialist guy by the name of Tony Stark. Yeah, so basically Tony Stark, you know what, let's go by code names. Iron Man, Stone, and Night Eater were all basically colleagues of Mr. Eli. Well, one day Eli found that there was a drug out there that was that could have saved his brother's life when they were younger. So he did everything in his power to try to find the company or manufacture the company to take over. Well, I'm getting tongue-tied. He tried to manufacture a company to take over to mass produce the drug to the he tried to manufacture the company, buy the manufacturer company to buy the drug that could have saved his brother's life. The problem is that not only when he found out that this cure had been around for years, he also found out that the company that was making it was holding it a secret so they can raise the price on it so to make more money. Whew, got through that. And of course, this angered Dr. Eli, and he started doing things like experimenting with other forms of medicine and machinery that he did on himself and his heart, basically. Yes, replacing his heart with a beta reactor thingamajig, some kind of machine, and also infused his skin with vibranium mesh and basically went around and start becoming this super villain Cardiac. And I technically kind of use the word villain kind of loosely in this regards because um, Mr. Elias, his whole thing is that he's basically attacking, pharmaceutical companies and basically people that think they're above the law in a sense of they can get away with doing this kind of thing to common people. So like running up pharmaceutical pharmaceutical companies that's making medications very hard to get and things like that. Hence the reason why he's ran into Spider-Man, because during this time or whatever, he actually was trying to recruit Spider-Man to be a teammate of his, but of course, Spider-Man had his own moral compass, to say the least. All right. So, anywho, and although, as you probably would guess, Cardiac or Dr. Elias is a highly intelligent man, but of course, because of his body alterations, I should say, of course, you get certain enhancements that comes with that, like all superhumans and supervillains, and that's strength, speed, durability, and I guess you can count the little impulse thing as a projectile, but or whatever. But anywho, as I kind of sort of said before, Cardiac has a machine that replaces his heart called the beta particle reactor that basically enhances most of things that a normal human can do, like agility, stamina, and basically making him a peak human being. And I think it does other things too, like it gives him other, how can I say? It basically does what the normal heart can do, but 10 times better and greater. That's the best way I can explain it. And because that Cardiac's skin is basically grafted over with a vibranium mesh, and anybody that don't know or haven't seen Black Panther, vibranium is one of the hardest minerals in the Marvel universe. So I don't know if it's harder than adamantium, which is what Wolverine's claws and skeleton is made out of, but I can't remember. But anyway, it's either one or two of the hardest, or is it three? Because you got Thor's hammer. Anywho, but yes, his entire body is grafted with vibranium, so making him very durable and also able to control the beta ray particles that runs through his body. And of course, speaking of beta ray particles, the staff that Cardiac has is able to shoot compulsive blasts of beta ray beta particle. Well, I keep saying beta ray, beta particles through either end of it. So yeah, as I said before, I don't know why. In most cases, it only shows one end that he does it. He can even shoot it out of his hand or whatever. But yeah, he can do it from both ends of the staff. So that's why I'm assuming that most people was wondering why, or was wishing that they gave us 2 little blue plastic glowy balls instead of just 1. And speaking of his staff can also connect to this Stingray Hawk Glider, or Hawk Glider, however you want to call it, that basically helps him, give them the ability to fly or glide. I mean, however you want to say it. But yeah, so that would have been a cool accessory to have to give with us. I mean, it didn't have to be nothing, just some little, little piece of plastic or cardboard. I don't care. Probably something we can make ourselves, but depending on what it looked like. But yeah, the Stingray Hang Glider or Hawk Glider, which one ever you want to call it. Yes, I think it would have been a pretty cool accessory to add into this. But that's that. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Well, it's time to size them up here. So representing the 1/36 scale action figure size, we have Herbie from the Toy Biz Fantastic Four Marvel Legends multi-pack. Somewhere back in early 2000s. Herbie stands at a whopping 2 inches tall. The average 1/36 scale action figure size. So the next scale up would be the 1/18 scale action figure size. So representing, which is the average 4-inch scale, representing that size, we have Xenostrike's 3-minute project model kit, which is who I like to call the waist-high ninja guy, Gary for short. All right. So, and Gary is just a little under 4 inches tall, if I remember 4 inches, if I'm remembering it right, like 3 3/4. Anyway, but the average 1/18 scale size. So the next size up would be, of course, the 1/12 scale action figure size. So the average 6-inch scale size. So representing that size, we have Stan the Man, my main man Stan, the Marvel Legends Stan Lee action figures, which is standing at 6 inches tall. So as you can see, Cardiac is pretty much almost the same size as him. But before we bring out the ruler to see exactly what he is, we got the next size up representative, which is the 1/10 scale action figure size, which is 7 inches tall. And representing that, we have the Nada Homebody action figure, body number 9T03, right? Basically who I call Buck, the bigger figure. Oh yeah. And Buck stands at 7 inches tall, the average 1/10 scale action figure size. So basically that means we get lucky and we get the ruler to stand perfectly still behind him, and it looks like Cardiac is standing just a little at, or almost exact at 6.5 inches tall, which means that he is pretty much comic book size accurate. All right. And that's the end of the video. All right. So thanks, Dr. Eli. I guess we'll see you soon. Wait, what about your beta particle staff? Don't you need this thing? I guess not. Or maybe at least not for right now. But since I have it, I have the power. Woo. I always wanted to do that. But hey, if you don't have anything on your bucket list that you're trying to clear off right now, and you don't know what else to do, try this advice my mother would give me when I had the same problem. Go somewhere and play. See you in the next video, guys. Ta-ta for now.